Oh, fuck!
He's like Inspector Gadget, but he's just got a fez full of metal.
Stuff happens. Fed stuff. What's the opposite of a head? An ass! An ass!
Get yourself a shower, you fucking stinky bastard.
He can get sent home from school because he smells so bad.
I mean, could Michael Cera pull off a 15-year-old kid?
Fez and Les and their magical fez.
They're meant for heads, not asses.
The one thing the fez will never produce is his father's love.
Hello everyone, welcome to Coming This Summer. I am Luke Illingworth, and I'm with Drew Woolnough.
Hello.
And Matthew Thomson.
Alright.
Wee.
Oh,
Right.
what?
You guys alright?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Fine.
Lovely. What a Sunday.
Fine.
What a Sunday.
What a Sunday it is indeed.
Sunday, bloody Sunday.
Yeah.
Perfectly encapsulates the feeling of a Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. So today we're gonna delve into the Fez of mysteries.
Woo!
I thought the idea today. A surprisingly hot Fez, but a Fez nonetheless.
Sexy Fez.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, what's like the use of a Fez?
I think it's a hat.
Yeah, I
looks
know.
cool,
I know it's a hat. But like obviously
Not
you
to
got
sit on.
like baseball caps, there's like a lot of it is meant to keep the sun out of your eyes. A lot of hats have uses, don't they?
Guess it keeps the sun off the top of your head.
Is that
because
what
you can get sunburnt through your hair, can't you?
Is that
I
what
think
it is?
it's to indicate ethnicity in Hollywood movies.
Exactly,
Oh,
yeah.
of course. Right. Alright then.
But what you need to do before you pull out anything from the Fez, you need to say, let's see what the Fez says.
Okay. Alright, well let's see what the Fez says. I'm gonna dive in. Should we do 3 things again? Is that what we did
Yeah,
last time?
Some of them might be, like last time you pulled out some random shit, so we needed all 3 of them.
What did we end up with? I can't remember what I pulled out.
Wasn't that when we did the killer shaving razor?
Oh
Like
yeah.
a tape measure or something stupid like that, and a bit off of a
Oh.
trimming set.
Well, here's the tape measure. I'm gonna eliminate that.
Yeah, fuck. Yeah, just take out any item we use, just get rid of no more in the Fez.
Where's the shaver? Oh, there's a razor blade. Get rid of that. Cut me fingies off. Right, okay. I'm going in, guys. Head first. I'll put in like a splash sound.
Yeah, hold your breath. You go,
Yeah. Okay, we have got a metal chain. So a metal chain.
Metal chain. Ah.
Metal
Add chain sound effect.
Yep. I have. What's this? A Foster's beer bottle cap.
Right.
Okay.
You got some very strange things in this Fez,
I don't know what
Paul.
it is.
I don't know, why did you put this stuff in the
I
Fez?
don't know. I think it was stuff that.
How big is this fez?
It's not
Is this
very-
Fez acting as a bin in between podcasts?
I think so. Yeah.
Rubbish in there.
You said pongcast then.
I did, yeah. Well, this is going to be a very
We
smelly
should do
one.
a pongcast. We just fart down the mic and then we rate each other's farts.
A pong ass.
Right, and what is the third thing? Should I find something good? Batman belt buckle.
Batman belt. So we've got a novelty belt buckle, a bottle
Yeah.
cap, and a metal chain.
Today, today's going to be hard.
Today's going to be very
but
hard.
Should it be a Batman film?
Well,
Oh, I don't know. I think we should just come up with our own thing.
Yeah.
Let's not rely. We can take that as I say, like I don't know, a special belt buckle.
Hang on. I'm going to pull something else out.
The juices aren't flowing this morning.
Yeah.
I've just woken up not long ago. There's not much. Just a lot of money in here.
Oh, someone's doing well.
Ooh, I found a quarter.
A quarter.
Yeah. That's American for 25p.
A money belt, man,
Right.
chain.
Right, I don't know, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think Pilnan, for the future in the Fez, you should have some items and some words some words in there as well, which would help
People.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people. Yeah, I think you're right, guys.
I think it's just a random assortment of shit.
It's a lot
Of your
of just-
belongings.
It's a lot of just sharp metal things.
I mean, I'm just now because the thing is now like we could make something out of it, but I'm more interested in your mindset for putting lots of sharp metal objects in a fez.
Right. Well, maybe could this be the film?
What, the death fez?
Okay, so the main character is an Egyptian fella,
Yeah.
because it's Hollywood, and it has just random sharp bits of metal in it, and he can pull things out of it and use them. He's like Inspector Gadget, but he's just got a fez full of metal.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just,
He can't go
got
for an airport.
There's some useful things in there. So I've got this thing. I don't know what it is. Just a sharp.
Is that for hanging meat or your serial killer victims
It
on?
looks like
Look.
it, yeah.
It's like the murder weapon from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, I've got two of them. Oh, there we go. I could throw them at my enemies.
Yeah. You could throw them at your enemies.
Well, what if, I'll tell you what we'll do, just to clear out this hat, what if it's just a series of short stories of how this stuff got into my hat?
I don't know if that's easier or harder. Are they all just going to be, I took my metal chain off my belt, pop that in the fez.
Pop that in the fez.
I fancy a different belt buckle on Monday. Just pop it back in the fez.
Pop it in the fez. That could be the name of the film. Pop it in the fez.
Put it in the fez.
Bez and his magic fez.
Bears and his fez. Starring Bears, yeah, I reckon.
Bez and Les Dennis. Bez and Les.
Bears and Les.
Bez and Les and their magical fez.
Okay.
So
right.
maybe what they do is this fez is magic, and what it does is it or at least or scientific in some way. It could be magic or science. You put random things into it, and then it turns those random things into something. So it's almost like a recycling thing, but it turns them into unique gadgets.
Yeah.
Or perhaps you reach into the fez in a situation and it provides you with what you need, but it doesn't,
you
but
might
with
not
no
necessarily get it.
explanation.
Yeah.
But with no explanation. So the Batman belt buckle, you're being attacked and you look at it and you just don't know what to do with it. But
Yeah.
The fez is giving it to you.
And yeah. And then you throw it at your attackers and go, "Oh, it was useful."
Oh, it's Batman! And they all run away.
Fuck!
They just hold it in front of them. It's like, stop! Shit, it's the Batman. So yeah, okay. So this fez, it gives you what you need, but not necessarily what you want, and it takes time for you to realize what the use is. It could be that day, it could be a week from now or something like that.
Yeah.
But that will come in handy in some way.
Okay, so I reckon we could make this maybe a sort of. I kind of want to do this when Will was back. We could make it a sort of fantasy thing, kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons thing, where just you go through a series of different events.
I was always thinking it could be. If you wanted to say fantasy for Will, it could be more of like like an 80s kind of kids, almost like a Goonies type
Yeah.
thing. They're or like Gremlins. They go into like the little. Someone goes into the shop and gets like the shop owner kind of sells them on this fez and says it's magic and stuff. He's got to get a present for his dad for his birthday or something like that. And the shop owner says it's magic, and the kid buys it, and the dad's like, "Oh, fuck! Why have I got a fez? It's a magic fez." No, it isn't. That's silly. But so the kid keeps the fez and realizes it is magic.
Yeah.
And what he needs is right inside of it. So the first thing he gets out of it is a gift that he actually needs for his dad. So he gets a real gift out of the fez.
The Batman belt buckle.
The Batman belt buckle, yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
and a
it's-
bottle of Foster's.
That's So he goes upstairs in the grump after his dad's sort of bemusement with the fez, or maybe he doesn't even give the fez to his dad. He tells his mum, "Look, I got this for dad." She's like, "That's stupid. He's not going to like that. Just take it upstairs."
Red's not his colour.
Exactly. Red's not his colour. So then the kid goes upstairs, and then it starts glowing gold from within. Almost, like in Ernest Saves Christmas, the Santa sack is always glowing light when you pull something out. And he pulls out a chilled Foster's 660 milliliter bottle and a used Batman belt buckle. And that's the gift he gives his dad.
Because his dad's a huge Batman fan and an alcoholic.
Exactly, yeah.
So that's the start of the movie.
The
Yeah,
one thing.
but
that's
I don't
him
know what the
discovering-
story would be.
That's him discovering that the hat is magic. So now
He has a
we
magic
just come
hat.
up with a series of different situations, and then I'll put my hand in the hat, and then we try and diffuse the situation with whatever I pull out of the hat.
Yeah. Oh, God, okay, yeah.
So so he's got his dad the present.
So the next day he goes to school.
Yeah.
Wearing the fez, and he gets bullied for it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
He has to deal with a bully.
A kid comes up for him, asks for his dinner money, or he's going to pants him. Right, okay, let's see how he deals with this situation.
Oh God, if he gets
Ow!
a metal hook.
Oh, fuck! Probably cut myself. Right, let's see what we got.
He's really rustling in there.
Oh, shit.
Oh God, yeah.
I got some money. So,
Well, yeah,
He just
Well, he
gives
buys-
so he
the
just
bully
gives
off.
him some money.
so he doesn't have to give him his lunch money because he just gives him money from
Yeah,
the
he just pulls
fez.
out.
And he's still got his lunch money.
Okay. Situation diffused.
Yeah. It's a valuable lesson for all.
Yeah. Oh, I've proper cut myself, guys.
give in to people's demands.
Wait,
Exactly. Money talks. That is the
Okay.
lesson of life.
So we've got that. And now, does he run into... Maybe he could run into the kind of girly fancies.
Who compliments him on how he dealt with the bully.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah.
not kind of, I now fancy you way in a kind of,
Yeah.
I notice you way.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I didn't.
You
know,
exist now.
like, oh, your name, your name is. I do science with you, don't I? And it's like, yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's nervous, you know.
Proper nervous.
Yeah,
Well, I've just found on
he's
the top
nerdous.
on the top here. I've found some aftershave. So
Well,
he
yeah.
can put some of that on.
And that's actually got a pheromone in it
Yeah.
that makes that particular girl attracted to him chemically.
Sealing the deal.
Sealing the deal.
Right. So he's got the girl.
The one thing the Fez will never produce is his father's love.
Yeah. This is what he's going to be chasing the whole film. He can't win him over. I think with the aftershave as well, because we need to have like some of the Fez's choices be slightly baffling. So that he gets the aftershave and he goes, oh, okay, and he smells it, and it smells horrible, and it smells to him. It smells absolutely disgusting. But he just puts it on. He's already put it on, and it just turns out that loads of other people think he smells disgusting, but it attracts that one girl. She thinks he's like she starts to fancy him because of this pheromone. So it's like there's always like a slight quirk to the stuff from the Fez. Not always a bad thing, but there's always something negative about what the Fez produces. like his dad is an alcoholic, so he wanted the Fosters, but really the kids shouldn't have given him Fosters, all that sort of stuff. And the bully's now going to go and buy like a fucking. He's going to go buy a knife so he can really, so he can start thieving people and stuff. So there's going to be like that's the lesson you have to learn in the end, that
so
they all backfire and they all have
backfire,
consequences.
Yeah. Like a
and
monkey's claw.
his convenience isn't the most important thing in the world. That could be our lesson.
Right. So I guess could him backfiring. Maybe the backfire of him giving the bully the money is that now he does it every day.
Now he always wants the money, yeah.
Yeah, because he's.
But the Fez won't always give it. What? Sorry.
Where's my money?
Where's my money?
Where's my...
Let me just rustle around in here. Yeah. And then one day it makes him pull out like a knife or something, and he's like, "Oh God, Fez!"
Well, there are razor blades in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd proper cut my finger.
What he does the next time he sees the bully, he goes in the Fez to get money, and he cuts himself on a razor blade. That means he has to go to the nurses at school, and he gets excused from school for the day, so he can't be beaten up after school.
Yeah.
So it does work in the end, but
Yes,
he's got then he has a nasty infection that grows on his finger.
So the backfire of this aftershave is, I guess, that he smells of shit, but she just likes the smell of it. Everyone else can't stand him apart from himself.
Yeah, he could get sent home from school because he smells so bad.
Yeah.
And he arranged to meet her in like the free period at the end of school, but he's been forced to go home because they think he's like shit himself or something.
Get yourself a shower, you fucking stinky bastard.
Yeah. Unhygienic little bastard.
Oh, but he makes some stink.
We make some stinks.
Right, guys.
I'll make some thinks.
If you come up with another scenario, I'm going to have to go deal with my finger for a second. I'm bleeding everywhere.
Actually bleeding.
I'm proper bleeding. Hang on 1 sec.
Fucking hell.
I'll leave you to it.
Right, so he's I don't know, what else has got to happen? What else do kids have to deal with growing up? Young pubescent boys.
We've literally hit all of the struggles there.
We've done them in the first 20 minutes of the film.
Bullies,
girls,
and your dad having an alcohol problem.
Yeah. Well, I guess so. Well, after a couple of scenarios, we start sowing the seeds that things are backfiring. Like his dad's, he goes back home from being sent and like stinking of shit, and his dad's off work because he's been up all night on a bender.
Oh, he's been fired because he went in and
he was blind drunk, yeah, and he's
that
done
one
it before.
Bottle of Foster's.
Off the one bottle of...
Everything that comes out of the Fez is slightly magical. Like the bottle of Foster's was never ending.
The bottle of Foster's is never ending, and it's like it's a perfect. It's like 14% or something like that. So it's really strong, but tastes delicious at the same time.
And the aftershave never stops smelling.
Yeah, exactly. So he won't be able to get rid of that smell. But the aftershave smell never stops. But the girl, her attraction to the smell will fade, but the smell itself will never fade. So there's all these little. Oh, so Pilnam, while you're away, we were saying that he goes back, and we start seeing the repercussions of the Fez. So when he's sent home from school for smelling of shit, his dad's there drunk, and like he's been laid off of work because obviously that Foster's is magical and never ending. So he just stayed up all night drinking instead of going into work because he has an alcohol problem that the kid didn't know about. And so he's starting to see that like he doesn't twig straight away that it's the Fez is the cause of it, but he's things are starting to get a bit weird.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. I guess maybe one of the next scenarios should be like when he gets back to school eventually, he asks maybe he gets to go on a date with the girl or something like that, and he needs something for the date to give her as a gift or something.
Okay, a gift. Do we delve in again?
Oh God! Don't cut
No,
yourself,
no,
Phil, man.
I've removed the razor blades.
Probably wise.
And now, what if? Oh, this is how we can get the metal chain in there.
So he
just
gives it as a
It's just a necklace.
a
But
lovely metal.
It's really long. Can you see how
And
long it is, Drew?
And once he puts it on, it can never be removed.
Yeah. And it keeps getting, the longer you have it on, it keeps getting heavier and heavier.
And smaller and smaller.
It gets smaller and smaller.
That puts a time limit on it. So now we've got time critical. He has to work out how to unravel all the things that are coming out of the hat.
What if like each day a link is taken out?
And it gets tighter and tighter.
There's quite a few links, so that makes it to get tighter and tighter.
Yeah. So later on in the film, after a few more scenarios, a few weeks, it starts to get kind of troubling. And he's worried, like she can't get it off, and it's just starting to choke her. And he's like, and it's in the middle of when he's discovering that the Fez is bad news.
Yeah.
He's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
So now he has to try and figure out what to do. How does he defuse? Does he use the Fez one more time to try and get the necklace off her or something? I don't know. I guess maybe like we have maybe even like a montage of a few minor Fez moments where he keeps using the Fez so that time passes. Well,
and
he calls them. Wait for it. He calls them mishats.
It's just a series. No, it's just a series of mishaps. It's not to do with Fez. It's just a mishap.
I've got here. There's like I've got like an internet plug.
That's an ADSL filter.
Oh.
Yeah.
If this is the 80s, he wouldn't have one of them. So it would be completely useless.
So this is one of those ones where it is useful, but it'll be useful for him in 20 years or 10 years minimum.
So you could just pull this one out and the fuck's that, and then just put it to one side.
Yeah.
And then at the end or something, you cut to 20 years later, and
he invented broadband.
Yeah. He's like, oh, this thing, and then he plugs it in and gets electrocuted.
Oh yeah. It's like 20 years after. It's like he's defeated the Fez, or he's thinks he's broken the curse of all the Fez things.
Yeah.
Then it cuts to that. It's that horror movie at the end, 20 years later, and he's forgotten that was pulled out of the Fez. He's just looking for like his one in his house is broken, and he's like, oh, I've got a spare one, and he plugs it in, and as he plugs it in, he's like, wait, wasn't that from the dead?
And then like a new metal song starts playing.
Yeah,
fucking like POD or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Found yourself in the Fez.
Yeah, it's got to have a DJ in the band.
Yeah. In the music video, the DJ is his decks are fezzes. His turntables are fez coloured and shaped.
Maybe in every frame of this film, there's a fez somewhere in the background. It's really ominous. I don't know how to make it look scary though, because it's just a red.
It's the hat.
Yeah.
It just kind of peers around a window corner as he's doing it. Maybe every time he uses the Fez, a new Fez pops up in the world. So that by the end, because I don't really know how we're going to resolve this. Our narrative dissolves into him fighting little Fezzes like they're gremlins.
Well, maybe
it just turns into gremlins at the end.
Yeah, well, maybe he doesn't sort of fix it. Just the girl has to die.
Oh God!
So dark.
There's no way out, and that's sort of what makes him stop using the Fez.
Mm.
But we've got this.
He throws it off a bridge like the mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Jumanji.
Yeah. Just throwing stuff off bridges in films definitely works.
That's it.
Exactly.
Never coming
back. Always works.
There's no way.
There's never any sequels or consequences.
No. So he puts the necklace on her, but we don't know it's losing a chain until it starts Because this is really long, this chain. So it's like dragging along the floor while she's wearing it.
Yeah.
And then eventually...
So say, I think we need a few, like, he has a few more things with the Fez in between this time.
Yeah.
And I think he needs to even start doubting the Fez before the chain gets serious. So that the chain is kind of like a big moment where he's trying to, maybe he does, because I think he should save the girl. In the kind of film I'm imagining, I think it would be too fucked up that she dies of the chain. But this is the last time he uses the Fez, and it gets him something to get her out of it.
Right.
But because every time he uses the Fez, a new little Fez is born. That last time he uses it, the final Fez is born, and they all become sentient and start running around. They've got enough Fezes to take over the world, or take over his town, and that's when they attack, like in Gremlins when they attack, and he has to fight his way through the town and find the weakness. What is the weakness of a Fez? Is my question.
Water.
Water, yeah.
Moisture.
Makes it soggy, sodden, or fire. Basically, I guess the enemy of a Fez is anything because it's so flimsy.
Yeah. Maybe
Someone's sitting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he needs to sit on. Like everything, maybe it is indestructible to everything, but as he's fighting them, he like falls out. He goes like, whoa, whoa, and it falls backwards and lands on one, and his ass kills it. He's like, wait, they can't be. Of course, they can't be sat on. Hats can never be sat on, and you can't wear them again.
They're meant for heads.
They're meant for heads,
not asses.
What's the opposite of a head?
Quick.
An ass. An ass.
Quick, everyone.
Sit on the Fez.
Sit on them.
Sit on the Fezes. And that's like by this point, the whole town is like fighting them with like makeshift weapons and stuff in the street, and everyone just starts sitting down. You hear like the little Fezes just going like squealing as they die.
Horrible sound.
But everyone always kind of sits down and goes, oh, because they're still full of metal and stuff.
Yeah.
So they sit down and they're like, oh, my ass. Oh, oof. And that's when all the Fezes are destroyed. That's when the curse of the Fez is broken.
Yeah,
and he gets rid of every Fez thing except for that bloody connector for the internet or whatever.
Yeah,
and that's how so it's an element of the curse survives at the end. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this is great.
I mean, it's there, isn't it? It's something.
It's a series of things.
Yeah.
It's a series of things happening with.
And if that
some
isn't a film,
consequences.
that isn't a film. I don't know what is. Series of things.
There you go. That's the name right there, Drew. Series of things.
Series
of
things.
Stuff happens. I've just found an old ID of mine, so maybe there could be like a party or something.
And he gets a fake ID.
And he gets
How
a fake
old is this kid?
It's got to be like 14,
reckon
15.
14, 15, yeah.
Basically, he's Morty age.
Yeah.
It's like a little Morty trying to get his Jessica and get some booze, and his dad's the Rick.
This is basically Rick and
Morty. Yeah, it could be an episode of Rick and Morty, a fucking magic Fez that Morty uses and has consequences.
I'll get Dan Harmon on the phone.
Yeah.
No,
I'll let him know.
I'll
let him know.
It seems less ridiculous.
It seems feasible now.
Yeah, that'll do.
Yeah.
Pay checking it.
Maybe Justin Roiland can play the dad.
Yeah.
Bit a live action performance from Justin Roiland.
Although there are, I've seen pictures online of like if they made a live action Rick and Morty, it would be Willem Dafoe and Michael Cera. I mean, could Michael Cera pull off a 15-year-old kid?
Well, I don't know. Has he tried?
Yeah.
I mean, can we get the kid who played Daniel in Karate Kid? Was it Ralph? Something his name is.
Oh, Ralph Macchio?
Macchio, yeah, that's it. Can we get him to play a child, but as his because he was a good kid in that film. I mean, he was a dick, but you kind of
he
want
was a bit. But yeah, we need the main character to be a bit of a dick. Yeah, can the whole film be populated with former child stars?
Yeah.
So like maybe his dad could be like even though he's a kid, his dad can be played by like the guy who was the kid in Gremlins or something, and like the bully can be the guy who played Elliot from E.T. and his mum could be Dakota Fanning. And so,
Yeah, I think so. If everyone looks roughly the same age,
we
you know what I mean?
we can get away with it.
Yeah, you can just say like, "Oh, they're 15." Look.
And then that way, Michael Cera still works because he was a former child star from Arrested Development, so he could be.
Yeah, that's true.
Who would he be in it? Do you reckon?
Who could he be in it?
So I'm feeling Macaulay Culkin needs to be like the spirit of the Fez. The first Fez will speak at some point, and like by the end, it will be able to appear as like a golden Macaulay Culkin will come out of the bottom of the Fez, and as he appears in a form that's more pleasing to the humans to speak to them.
I can't see Macaulay Culkin doing that, but I could see Shia LaBeouf. He could be the Fez. Just a bit wild, a bit. He's gone a bit far.
He's financed this film because it sounds like a crazy art project for him. Yeah, I think Shia LaBeouf definitely. That is spot on.
Yeah. Okay. Well, could Michael Cera be like the principal?
Yeah.
Of the school.
Yeah, the one that kicks him out for spending the shit.
And there's loads of certificates and like newspaper clippings on his office wall that say like the US's youngest principal school. He's like.
Yeah, definitely. He's like college age, and he's a principal.
Like in those like hick towns in America where a dog gets voted mayor, like things went.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
There was no one else to do the job, so he went through teacher training, finished his first semester, and then they were like, "You need to come back home to this small town and be principal."
Yeah. You're the only man. You're the only man. I'm sorry, young adult for the job.
He should be one of those guys. You get those guys. You can tell they're busy because they're always answering phones.
Yeah,
they've got like 12 phones around them. They constantly have to answer all of them. So he's always doing that.
Whenever you go in his office, he's tangled. He's like tangled in phone coils, and like each time you go in, he's more tangled. He's just like trapped in, like, driving around. He's trying to tell off this kid.
You stink of shit. Get out.
What are you doing back here? You still stink of shit. Could you just help me untangle me from my phones? So much phones. Oh.
I might have something in the Fez that can help us untangle the phone.
Hey, have I?
It's a wireless phone. It's like, because it's the 80s. It's an early brick mobile, and the downside is eventually it will give him a brain tumor. That's the dark side of that one. That one didn't pay off for years and years and years. There's always a horrible twist. Oh. Fuck hell. I think we've got a movie, guys.
I think we got a movie.
I feel like was Ron Howard a child star? Because maybe that means he has to direct.
Well, how old was he in Happy Days?
He was a bit quite young. I don't think of other directors who were child stars or prodigies.
Right, I'm researching.
Research, yeah. We need a top one.
Child stars now and then. I'm having to do some cross-referencing if they've ever directed anything.
Yeah. It's going to be worth it. This payoff is going to be worth it.
Oh, yeah. Ron Howard.
Yeah,
there's a picture of him here being all cheeky.
He gets it by default.
He was a child.
He was a child.
He once was a child.
Yes.
Oh, there's loads of people here. We've got Drew Barrymore, Jodie Foster, Leonardo DiCaprio, Ron Howard. Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
in his
shit.
Doogie house, he could be the nurse.
He could be the nurse. Yeah,
that he
yeah,
goes to
definitely.
with his cut finger.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we should get maybe we can get Drew Barrymore to direct then, because she
Is she a director?
she directs as well, and she was like important in getting Donnie Darko made, wasn't she, as a producer?
Oh!
So she's quite into
Oh, he's
twisted
cut
stuff.
himself again.
No, I just saw Fred Savage.
Oh,
He's a director.
oh,
he
he
was
is.
in,
Yeah,
He's in the Wonder Years.
yeah.
That little kid. He directs a couple of episodes of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's true.
I believe.
He'll do.
He'll do.
Yep.
They can co-direct. They can do it together. Barrymore and Savage
Fred
together
Savage.
at last.
Yeah.
The dream team we've all been waiting for. Executive producer Ron Howard presents.
In a world where there's a Fez that does things.
Yeah. Stuff happens. Fed stuff.
Fez stuff.
Also unrelated stuff. Stuff that Fezzes would never says.
So, what were we calling this? I forgot what we named it. Was it Stuff Happens?
Stuff happens.
Or Fez? What? No, Les.
Les Fezzes. Fez Dennis.
Fez Dennis.
How about Fez Dennis?
Feztiny.
Feztiny? I
Feztiny.
quite like that.
Feztiny. Okay. Alright. Oh yeah, I'm in.
It has to be a little bit of a gap, like whenever someone says it. Brent Feztiny? Or it's slightly uncertain.
Question.
Like Feztiny?
Does that work?
Does it? Does it work? And the tagline is just a series of things happen.
Yeah, someone could say Feztiny in the film, and they're trying to figure out whether it works. And they're like, it doesn't matter. He was like, we're being attacked by fezzes.
Yeah, they're
So-
sitting around trying to decide what they should call this phenomenon.
We've got. It's just.
Feztiny. That's the best they can
Feztiny,
come
I
up
mean-
with. Yeah, Feztiny is
Fine.
amazing, I think.
Right, now get sitting on these fucking fezzes. I think we pulled that one out of the bag, out of the fez.
Out of the bloody Fez, yeah, Jesus.
Yeah.
Pull that out of the Fez. That's our new phrase. That's going to
javelin.
be our new phrase. Like,
Pull that out of the
if something's really difficult, we say, like, an episode's been super hard, we go, oh, pull that one out of the Fez. Fuck. In memory of this traumatic episode.
Right then. Well, guys, coming this summer, we bring you Feztiny.
Fez.
If you guys would like to contact us, you can find us on Twitter at ComingThisPod. You can find us on Facebook at Coming This Summer Podcast. You can subscribe to us on Podbean, which is comingthissummer.podbean.com, or you can subscribe to us on iTunes, which is just type in Coming This Summer. You could leave us a review as well, just to let us know how you think we're doing, whether we should keep doing it anymore. That would be very nice. Thank you. Bye.